You all come and hit that like and share button. I just got gym, so let me hydrate myself. As promised, I did a short live stream. Well, it really wasn't short, like 20 minutes at the gym. And I was breaking down the Dave Ramsey show, building your child's credit score while they are still a baby, right? Building your child's credit score while your child is still a baby. And so I want to show you all that clip, and I'm going to show you some comments. And I'm not saying this to degrade people or anything, but I'm just going to show you some comments of people that really lack a financial education, especially when it comes to leveraging and using credit. And this is the thing that most people in these comments, I don't know why I'm getting a low Wi-Fi signal when I talk on this topic, but at any rate, if the video screen is a little blurry, that's why I'm getting a low Wi-Fi signal. I don't know why. But at any rate, we're gonna, look through the blurriness and live stream on the topic anyway. Uh, I would, if I could do a survey of the people that come Ramsey comment, I would really want to know how many of these people do everything with cash, and how many of these people have asset. And I would want to analyze their quality of financial life, their financial life quality, because this is why in 1971, a lot of Dave Ramsey, I, but I won't say all of it. Sometimes I do agree with Dave Ramsey on some things that people need to at least have an emergency savings intact. Um, Before the C-19 thing came along, we had 1 out of 4 Americans that had less than $400 in savings. I do believe in the concept of having baby steps to your financial life. It's so many people who watch these social media people that educate, and I am a social media educator, but they watch these things and they hear about, oh yeah, this is what the rich and wealthy do. The rich and wealthy has life insurance policies, index universal life, cash value, but what they leave out, fail to tell you, is that these are high income, high network people, and that because of the expenses that it takes to leverage your whole life insurance or index universal life, that is not beneficial to you until you're high, unless you're a high income network person. So I want to share the video with you. And again, I will apologize if the video is freezing or blurry. For some reason, I'm getting a low internet signal, but on my end, everything's look to be, have a lot of bars. So again, come in, hit that like and share button. I might have to change my internet plan once again. I just changed it, but I'm still having internet issues when I live stream. So let's look at the Ramsey Show reactions to building your base credit. Let's watch this. All right, that was a big gap. My internet just cut off, and I'm not even sure if I want to finish the live stream right now. So you all come in because I know a lot of people probably won't watch the replay because that was almost 5 minutes to my internet reboot. So if you're still here, hit the like and share button so people can come in. And if I cannot get the Dave Ramsey video to play, then I'm just going to redo it. Since I'm having internet problems, so um, just switched over to AT&T. Right? Thought that was fast. I might need to get other look at other internet services. But if this will play, and then I will con- continue this live stream. If not, it's just gonna have to be for another day because again, my internet signal seems to be weak. So um, let me see if I can share this Dave Ramsey video. If you all are still watching or tuning in, say hello, prompt the algorithm, and hit that like and share button. So let's see.
A minimum of like 47 people have sent me this video being like, we need you guys to react to this video. We need your thoughts on this. Is this true? What's your take? And so Rachel has not seen this. I have seen it, and we're going to get Rachel's kind of blind reaction here. Are you ready for this? I'm not even going to set it up.
I don't even know what's about to happen. So if it's a Friends clip, I'll put it.
It is not.
A quote from Notting Hill. Oh, okay.
Get ready.
Rich people help their kids get perfect credit scores long before those kiddos can apply for their own credit card. And it's not even that complicated. I can explain it to you. I'm Vivian, your rich BFF, and your favorite Wall Street girlie who you follow for all the money secrets. As soon as my kid is born, I'm going to set them up as an authorized user on my credit card. As you can see, with the exception of Discover and American Express, most of these credit card issuers don't have a minimum age requirement. This means I will be issued a credit card on it, but I'll be responsible for paying the bill. And you're probably wondering, what does a baby need a credit card for? Instead of giving the card to them, I'm either going to cut it or I'm just going to put it in a safe location. I will then proceed to make on-time payments on my credit card bill every single month. By doing so, I'll start building good credit, allowing them to leech onto my good credit. By the time they finish high school, they'll have built a credit history of 18 years and have a score in the high 700s or even 800s. This will help them rent their first apartment or qualify for a great credit card of their own.
Oh my gosh. You know what I just went to, y'all? What if someone watches that on Instagram and they're terrible with money? They put their kid in this situation and they don't pay them. It improves your kid's financial future? Like,
Okay, because they won't answer this question, I'm going to pause for the calls and answer this question. No, it does not mean you have just screwed your child's financial future when it comes to credit. If you ever get in a point during the 18 years, because your child will not have a credit profile, they cannot pull up their credit report through Experian, Credit Karma, or anything until they get to the legal age of 18. And if you have a missed payment, right, if it takes a dip, which until the age of 18, you still have time to rebuild that. A missed payment or a late payment on your credit report on credit cards only affected up to 2 years. But at any rate, if you just totally have a charge off, right? Let's say a charge off, or the account is closed, or let's say something happens to you financially, you're not able to upkeep it, and you maxed out the credit card, and that child cannot inherit the history of good credit because some life situation happened. Then you can just call and get that child removed as an authorized user, and that credit history and profile will not affect their credit score. So it's obvious that the Dave Ramsey show, his daughter, right, and I don't know who the other gentleman is, I think that's his daughter, do not have an education fully about the credit game. And Susan Orman is the same way. Susan Orman gave out advice that if you have a negative item on your credit score, you just got to wait it out. There's no way to get it removed. I've heard Susan Orman tell people that, and that's incorrect. I have personally helped people reverse bad credit from charge off to getting collections deleted, reverse of missed payments in which they can keep um, a 30-day late in which they can keep the other without erasing all of the good credit history if for some reason they were just late 30 days due to unforeseen circumstances. So I know that personally, their area, these two young people area expertise is not credit because they're saying things that's I think not true or people know. So let me continue to play. Ding 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 ding.
That is so scary to me. Videos, and she does have some great videos. I have seen her. There is some stuff
she's
she
a
does that
sharp
yes,
young lady.
but we don't agree the debt thing, which we don't agree with like anyone on social media because I feel like we're the only ones that talk about being debt free for the most part. Agree with all that, but like that's scary to put that out there and trust the American culture who has like average $15,000 of credit
But Rachel,
card debt.
this is what the wealthy do. Okay,
Oh
this
my
is what the
gosh.
true rich are doing to set their
That
kids up for
literally
success.
gave me anxiety. I don't have anxiety. I don't really like anxiety's not my thing, but I just had it. Like, that makes me so sad for kids. Like,
Can I tell you,
like
Rachel?
anytime like I can't end the fact that yes. Okay, hold on. I have so many thoughts. Okay.
Okay, hit us.
And then B is like you don't need a credit score, right? Like our thing is like you shouldn't have a credit card anyways. You don't need a credit score. Don't be like trying to like rig the system to get a good credit score because listen, teach your kid to pay for everything with cash and then when they want a home they can do manual underwriting and they're fine. So
Okay, teach your kids to pay everything with cash. I'm not sure if people know this, but in 1971, cash became debt. So if your children do not have a high income status, right, or if they're fighting against inflation, or if you do not have a 6 or 7 figure income, high income earners, the best thing you can teach your children. I went to her TikTok, I followed her, and I like a lot of her financial advice. I really like a lot of her financial advice to help the middle class become millionaires. I really like what I heard from her. So, with this being said, I'm also going to share a clip of the young lady's TikTok. She also discussed index universal life, cash value life insurance, IUL, whole value life insurance, PRAs. All of them are pretty much the same thing, same function. But for right now, we're going to stay on this credit piece because most middle class people can pass on generational good credit. They cannot. They don't have to do the reversal, which is put the utility bills in their children's name, and then they cannot afford the utility bill, right? Or they go delinquent on the utility bill, and then now their child, just the opposite, when they hit the age of 18, now have a charge off for a utility bill that they cannot afford. Now, if you are that type of parent who would abuse your children's credit by putting them in that situation before they turn the legal age of 18, then this advice does not apply to you. You should follow Dave Ramsey's strategy, right? If you can't upkeep a credit card and it makes payments on time and leverage a credit card, the young lady in the TikTok said, allow your children to leech off your good credit. But if you cannot leverage a credit card with the vision in mind to have your child at the age of 18 start life, get a head start with an 800 or 825 or 850 credit score, that's not your vision, and you're not disciplined enough with your credit cards to do that, then don't add your children. But I know people that I have worked with personally, my coworkers, and they are not of the black and brown color. Some years ago, I learned this from them. They would begin to tell me that when their child, they had a perfect credit score or 800, 825, and when their children were born, they were adding their children as authorized users to their credit cards. Now, what was so great, I think, about this TikTok was that the young lady broke down your best friend, your rich best friend. She actually gave a screenshot and broke down the credit cards that you could add your child to, your infant to, as an authorized user. And the whole strategy of this, again, is we know that your infant child will not use credit cards, right? However, so when your child get 18, you pass them on with good generational credit to start life with, where they're not building a credit profile, but for 18 years, you as their parent have positioned them to start life with a good credit score, right? So I'm going to, let me see, can I find it? Okay, it's right here. She breaks down, she shows you that American Express, you have to wait to 13 years of age. But with Bank of America, there's no minimum age requirement. With Citibank, no minimum age requirement. Capital One, Chase, no minimum age requirement. Wells Fargo. So that means an infant. The only two that have an age requirement is Amex and Discover. And I'm not too, um, I don't like Discover that much. The only thing I can give Discover kudos for is that when I graduated college, I needed assets to buy a rental property. That was my first flip house. And I used my Discover credit card that had a $5,000 limit to buy that asset. And I made 5 figures off of it. So if you tell me you can't leverage credit to create more income, then you're just not using it in the correct way. So let's finish this.
As you can see, with the exception of Discover and American Express, most of these credit card issuers don't have a minimum age requirement. This means I will be issued a credit card with their name on it, but I'll be responsible for paying the bill. And you're probably wondering, what does a baby need a credit for? They don't. Instead of giving the card to them, I'm either going to cut it or I'm just going to put it in a safe location. Then proceed to make on-time payments on my credit card bill every single month. By doing so, I'll start building good credit for my kid, allowing them to leech onto my good credit. By the time they finish high school, they'll have built 18 years and have a score in the high 700s or even 800s. This will help them rent their first apartment or qualify for a great credit card of their own.
Oh my gosh. You know what I just went to, y'all? What if someone watches that on Instagram and they're terrible with money? They put their kid in this situation and they don't pay their bills on time. Does that mean you just screwed your kid's financial future? Like,
Ding, 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 ding.
so scary to me. Vivian, I've seen her videos and she does have some great videos. I have seen her. There is some stuff
she's
she
a
does.
sharp
Yes,
young lady.
but we don't agree the debt thing, which we don't agree with like anyone on social media because I feel like we're the only ones that talk about being debt free for the most part. So I don't agree with all that, but like that's scary to put that out there and trust the American culture who has like average $15,000 of
But
credit
Rachel,
card debt.
this is what the wealthy do. Okay,
Oh
this
my
is what the
gosh.
true rich are doing to set their
That
kids up for
literally
success.
gave me anxiety. I don't have anxiety. I don't really like anxiety's not my thing, but I just had it. Like, that makes me so sad for kids. Like,
Can I tell you,
like
Rachel?
anytime I don't trust it. And the fact that yes, okay, hold on, I have so many thoughts. Okay.
Okay, hit us.
And then B is like you don't need a credit score, right? Like our thing is like you shouldn't have a credit card. You don't need a credit score. Don't be like trying to like rig the system to get a good credit score because listen, teach your kid to pay for everything with cash and then when they want a home they can do manual underwriting and they're fine.
Now, this is an emotional plea by her. She's, it literally gave me anxiety. Teach your kids to just pay cash for everything when she's inheriting cash, right? From Dave Ramsey, who accepts credit cards, by the way, for his products. If they were so anti-credit cards, why do you accept credit cards to purchase your financial peace products so that you can have financial peace? If you're so anti against credit cards, then don't accept it on any platform or any level. So now the emotions are coming in. Oh, I'm so scared. Just teach your kids to pay cash for anything. Nothing wrong with teaching your kids to pay cash or to use cash. But I think from a financial head start, that it is more beneficial to teach them the smart way, the intelligent way to use and leverage credit. Well, like for example, my daughter has credit limits and credit line offers. This is for her, right? Earn up to 100,000 points for things that she'll do anyway, like traveling, and through Amex and American Express. That's 10x her income right now, being that she's 23 years old. So I teach her how to leverage credit. I teach her bills are full. and then she gets some type of rewards, whether the passive or cash back or $25 a month, depends on how much she use it, or $100 or $125. That's more than she would get by using a debit card. And in the event that she wants to purchase assets that's higher than her income, right? She can leverage and use credit to do that. That would then pass on generational wealth. And I tell people this all the time. The Bible teaches you in 2 Kings chapter 4, unfortunately, most middle class American or most middle class people, their first objective is, I want to get out of bad debt. I want to get out of bad debt. I want to get out of debt. I want to be debt free. I want to do debt free scream. But in 2 Kings chapter 4, when the woman was in a financial dilemma in which her husband died without having life insurance, and he left her and her two sons in bad debt, in which the creditors were going to come and take her sons away, Elijah the prophet gave her a strategy. He said, leverage your credit to get out of that bad debt. Robert Kiyosaki teaches this financial spiritual wealth strategy that the Bible teaches as well. No one can take that scripture and twist it to me and say, oh no, he told her to go borrow vessels for neighbors. She was in bad debt and he told her to go borrow. Borrow means the same it did during that biblical translation times that it means today. Borrowing is leveraging someone else's assets so you can build your own assets. Quite naturally, before her and her husband, since she was in debt and the creditors were about to come and take her sons to work off the debt, they were using debt and credit in the wrong way. And Elijah the prophet gave her a strategy of how to use it in the correct way and to leverage her sons to work for her and not in a system of working for others. And this is why I tell people the power of knowing credit and the power of having a home-based business. It all comes from the principles and the practices and the wisdom of Elijah in 2 Kings chapter 4. Single mothers out there, single fathers, or even if you're married, you should be hiring your children in a home-based business and you should be leveraging your credit to get out of bad debt, right? But let's listen in.
So it's unnecessary, number one, or number two. But number one, she's advising people that most of America's terrible with their credit cards, so like they're going to screw their kids, right? Like,
Yes.
is that?
They won't screw their kids because all you have to do is remove them as an authorized user. And most of Americans are terrible with their credit cards because no one teaches them how to use them. Anything not taught is abused. And you tip like that's just like using a firearm, right? To protect you, or can be used to harm you. So if I teach you the ways to use it in a way that protects you and your family, and you have to, or if I teach you the way to use it to go out and hunt and feed you and your family, then that's a great thing. But if I just tell you don't use them at all, and you and your family are starving, or theft happens to you and you don't know how to use it, isn't it better to know how to use it in a healthy way than to not have knowledge on how to use it at all? Well, it doesn't teach people the right way to use it at all. And then allow people to make that decision, right? So let me play.
You just solved the problem, Rachel. I went to the comment section, and the very first comment was like, "My parents did this to me, and they tanked my credit score by the time I was 18 because they mismanaged money, and now it screwed me over."
Okay, here's a question. I probably shouldn't even get into this, wade in this water, because I don't know. But like I have known two people, not like really close friends, but enough that they've like shared this with me, that their identity was stolen from an aunt and uncle that raised them. And the uncle
Oh,
took right. And I know that this is not stealing your identity, but it is weird that you can put someone's name,
it's an
on the
authorized
account.
user.
Yeah, but like, I don't know.
It creates a
Yeah, I think she should have stopped there and just said, I don't know. This is not still an identity. They are making something that you can leverage and use to build your child's credit score By the time they turn 18, they're trying to use emotional pleas and stories, right? Uh, to make people think that this is something criminal, attaching it to identity theft, when it's not, right? This is not identity theft. You are that child's parent, and you have a right to build your credit score. If you are using credit in a smart way and paying your credit cards on time, why not pass that on to your children? Let me read some of the comments. And then they said manipulating the credit score. If it was manipulation, it wouldn't be an option. Right. If you did miss a payment, you can remove them as an authorized user, and it will remove all the history. That's the part they're not saying. Then some people know minimum age is scary. Why? These are tools. These are techniques. These are strategies that rich and wealthy people do use. These are things that their kids learn about uh, while growing up in their homes that they can use to leverage and build good credit that passes on generational wealth. Some people say this is why I stay off TikTok. This is the authorized user has no legal responsibility to pay the bill, on the primary account holder. True. Um, Someone says I wouldn't do it to a baby or teenager for sure, but if you can do it responsibly for 18 years, you greatly, the more years you can build up that credit profile, the better. But you can do it at teenage if you feel like at the age of 15 or 16. And at least you'll have 3 years to build up that child credit profile if you have good credit, right? This lady needs to be charged with encouraging fraud. Let me get this a thumbs down. There's nowhere near fraud. And uh, listen, 25 years later, kid finds out they're 20K in debt. No, you're just an authorized user. You're not even responsible for the debt. And if the child was 20K in debt, and if you taught the child, because most people that have this knowledge are teaching their children why they are doing it, how they want them to leverage. When I learned out about this, for example, my coworkers, again, who were Caucasian, educated me about it. And they told me that instead of like some low income people do, using your income tax return, which is not a good idea, but at any rate, to take your children to Disneyland or Disney World, what they would do is through the rewards card of their credit cards that they will already be paying, the gas that they will already be pumping, the groceries that they will already be making. They will put everything on a credit card and build up rewards that them and their 3 children could go to Disney every year. That was the reward from that, and have to pay nothing out of pocket expenses. And annually, yearly, they're making memories with their children and their families by using and leveraging a credit card in a healthy way. And they add their children when they were born. I did not find out about this until my daughter was around the age of 15. And then I added her as an authorized user. I didn't even know up to that point that you can do it when your child was infant. Had I known, I would have, because I am a responsible person for the most part when it comes to credit. And if I just, life happened and I couldn't make payments, or I had a dent in the credit card, again, if the credit card is not a charge off, if you're not closing it, you're keeping it for 18 years, it's a great idea to pass on generational wealth. Also, having a home-based business is a great idea because your child, like the Gerber baby, you remember the Gerber baby who models for life insurance, or the picture, your child can be used for marketing in your home-based business, right? I would definitely connect with me to connect you with the CPA that can structure that for you. Most people don't know that. And so to $12,400 in tax write-offs to offset the cost of diapers, new clothing, onesies, all the expenses that comes with having an infant child or a toddler or just a young child. Clothing and shelter, right? Those are additional tax deduction that the government gives you. Now, this is another TikTok video that she did. as well about life insurance. Is it a good investment? And I'm going to share this with you all. And give me a second. Thought it was a great. And so it helped me subscribe to her and follow her on TikTok. Let me share this with you, and I'm in the live stream.
Investment for everybody, but you know better because you follow me, Vivian, your rich BFF, your favorite Wall Street girly, who can break it down. There are two main types of insurance. Term life, you're probably familiar with. You pay money, so when your family gets a little something, something. Whole life also has this death benefit, but also has an investment component that allows its value to grow over time. And a lot of scammers on social media are selling whole life insurance, IULs, MPIs, whatever they want to call them, as a good investment for everyone. But in reality, these are only good investments for high net worth folks because the upfront fees are so high. In fact, MetLife determined that a 30-year-old male could pay $672 a year for 20 years of term life insurance and $8,320 a year for whole life insurance. For the average person, the upfront cost of whole life insurance would be better invested in the stock market. You'd see meaningfully higher returns. And for all the times that whole life was touted as this amazing investment, they miss one big caveat. It only makes sense if you already have a lot of money. Some people are peddling whole life insurance like it's a good investment for everybody, but you know better because you follow me, Vivian, your rich BFF, your favorite Wall Street girly, who can break it down. There are two main types of insurance. Term life, you're probably familiar with. You pay money, so when your family gets a little something, something. Whole life also has this death benefit, but also has an investment component that allows its value to grow over time. And a lot of scammers on social media are selling whole life insurance, IULs, MPIs, whatever they want to call them, as a good investment for everyone. But in reality, these are only good investments for high net worth folks because the upfront fees are so high. In fact, MetLife determined that a 30-year-old male could pay $672 a year for 20 years of term life insurance and $8,320 a year for whole life insurance. For the average person, the upfront cost of whole life insurance would be better invested in the stock market. You'd see meaningfully higher returns. And for all the times that whole life was touted as this amazing investment, they miss one big caveat. It only makes sense if you already have a lot of money.
So that's the point that I say IULs, cash value, whole life, PRAs only make sense if you already have a lot of money to dump into it. When you have a lot of money to dump into it, pull out or leverage it within a matter of weeks or months. You leverage that, you take a loan against the cash value in the policy, and you take that loan out to then leverage and buy and purchase real estate. What most people don't tell you about the cash value life insurance, PRAs, IULs, or life is that it is not the insurance policy itself, technically, that really gives you residual income and tax-free benefits alone. It is the investment real estate properties that they then use that money and leverage to invest in, while their money continues to sit and earn a very minimal low interest on an annual amount. And then their money be leveraged and use cash against it to invest in real estate. And upon their death, it's just a strategy to pay or to pass on more tax-free advantages, right? Because you do understand you have your tax when you die, right? Tax strategies, advantages to their children. However, it's levels to this. If you're not high income, you don't have a large lump sum to immediately put into that policy and to give it life and pump it. You're just playing a rich person's game with a little bit of money, and you're not going to reap the rewards that the rich have when they get into these policies. So at least pay your credit cards on time, leverage your credit, pass on that to your children at the level that you're on. There's vision for you and your child, right? Even as a teenager, if you want to do this as a teenager, you still can do it. Also, last thing I'm going to share with 72% of homeowners now regret purchasing a home. 72%, let me pull this up again, of homeowners now regret purchasing a home. I told people that the market was going to crash like it did in 2008, but much worse. You're going to have a lot of foreclosures up for sale or up for grabs, rather. And because people are not going to be able to afford to make payments on this, whether it's a loss of job, as we have Meta and a lot of tech Firms are laying off, or, just in a recession, jobs are lost. And so I told people that homes were 50 to 100% overpriced, and that I felt that it would be more advantageous of them to wait until the crash. Even with a high interest rate, you're not overpaying 50% for a house, right? And if you get the house for market value, that should free up some cash where you can make principal payments to offset paying back high interest fees on the interest rate amount. So, 72% of home buyers recently said they regret their home purchases as well. And yeah, that's it. $1.2 trillion in equity has been lost so far with homes. And so, if you're a person who got another job offer because maybe you were laid off in your current city or state, it's hard for you to relocate. You can't sell the house, and if you rent it out, it's a renters market. You can get at least break even with the monthly payment that you're making. But or if you have to relocate for any reason, you'll be upside down. Whether it's family issues, better job opportunities, and so again, with this being a renters market now, maybe you could amount that you're paying in your mortgage if you have to relocate because of a better job opportunities due to job loss in a recession or whatever the situation is. But equity is lost, 1.2 trillion now because the houses were overpriced, right? And so with that being said, it's going to be a lot of foreclosures and short sales up, especially for people that have amortization interest rate, which means that as the Fed increase interest rates, the interest rate of the amount of the mortgage finance increases as well for a certain time frame. So, hey, this is your money moves moment. I have a great day. Make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube. And if you want to stay up with what's going on in the market and know what best moves to make in this recession so you become rich in this recession, stay on tabs, subscribe to my channel, Queen Millie Moves on YouTube, and I will definitely keep you informed and dated and help you as I study the market and the economy make the best moves so your family will be rich in this recession and not poor. Y'all have a great Sunday. Queen out.